Tonight, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris will face off for the only vice presidential debate of the campaign. It'll be the first such debate, including a woman of color. It is following a presidential debate that many have called the worst in history, and it will be the first where the candidates are separated by plexiglass. And we are joined by Professor of Political Science at UC San Diego, Thad Kousser. Brad, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I would like to start off with the optics, first of all, and the fact that we're set up now for coronavirus. How does that play into all of this?
Well, I think this is what most people have been dealing with in their lives. So I don't think it'll be surprising to many viewers to see the candidates come in wearing masks, to see the audience members keep their masks on, and to see plexiglass separating them, just like we see when we go shopping.
From the standpoint, though, that the virus is now spreading through the White House, will it stand as a visual appearance of failure on the part of the White House to contain things?
Well, I think the White House has a challenge that goes beyond the visual, right? And so that was first highlighted by the more than 200,000 deaths across the country, but especially by the president's positive test over the weekend and hospitalization over the weekend. So I think the White House is clearly going to be on the defensive on its coronavirus response. And since Vice President Pence has been at the helm of that, that will be the case that Kamala Harris will be prosecuting and attempting to make political gains on today.
And about that, the strengths and weaknesses of the two candidates, where do you see them?
Well, I think with Mike Pence, he is a rock-ribbed conservative. You see him there with the Supreme Court justice nominee, and I think he'll try to appeal to voters who share the viewpoints. He'll try to energize the Republican base on social issues that have been very important to the 2016 election, and I think he'll also be trying to point out the vulnerabilities of Senator Harris. So Senator Harris, who is ironically too moderate for many Democrats in the primary, Mike Pence will be trying to point out that she may be too liberal for voters in the general election, pointing to her support of Medicare for all and for the Green New Deal.
Does either candidate have an Achilles heel?
I think both candidates have clear vulnerabilities. So Kamala Harris, who still is introducing herself on the national scene, she'll have to make the argument that she and Vice President Biden are not going to pull the country in a sharply left position, and so she'll be on defense from the charge that they would move America towards socialism. And Mike Pence will be on the defense against the charge that the country hasn't been led strongly through the coronavirus pandemic, and also that it would move that if another 4 years of the Trump administration, potentially more Supreme Court nominations, would pull the country too far towards the right and social conservatism.
How much do you think the stakes are raised by the fact that the presidential candidates, ages 74 and 77, raised the chance that either one of these vice presidential candidates may actually become president?
Absolutely. I think normally vice presidential debates are about who can score the most points and be the best attack dog and bring down the presidential candidates. This race, because as you mentioned, both of these candidates would be the oldest presidents and potentially vulnerable in an age of pandemic. This is really an audition for the top job in the country by both of these candidates who need to have Americans feel secure that they would lead the country in the right direction if they themselves were president.
Considering the president's health and what he's going through with COVID-19, and even though he appears to be strong at this point, is it safe to attack him, or do you come off scoring points against yourself if you do that?
Yeah, so that's a key strategic decision that Democrats and Kamala Harris need to make. So last Friday and over the weekend, the Democrats pulled their attack ads, all their negative ads on the Trump administration out of respect for his illness. Now, he is projected at least that he's come roaring back, that he's working in the White House. And I think that opens up more opportunity for Democrats to press the case that he hasn't protected those in the White House and those in America on coronavirus. But it's a delicate balancing act for Kamala Harris to walk tonight.
Professor of Political Science at UC San Diego, Thad Kousser, pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Thanks for having me.